Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a little makeup tutorial for you using the Blushed Nudes palette by Maybelline, and I've actually done a little bit of a swatching for you guys of the shadows down here. There are two matte shades, which the top one has this one and the bottom has this one, or at least that's how mine appears. Oh, it might have three because that one's also matte. So one thing that you do need to know is that the colors up here are shimmers, so their pigment is not going to be very strong. But you know, we'll try them out anyway. And then these ones down here, as I'm sure you've guessed, are the shadows. I have swatched them for you on my arm. Apparently it doesn't want to show, so hang on one second. There we go. So what I did was I ended up putting some face primer and eyeshadow primer on my arm. That little tip came from Kathleen Lights. What I did was I went from, let me move you back over just a little bit. I went from here to here because I thought I was going to be able to do it like that, but it apparently doesn't want to show. So you will see that they're kind of backwards on you. Here, I'll move the camera back over. So they may look a little backwards on you, but when you do that little trick, it actually gives you a lot of pigment. I tried to shoot this video yesterday and it really didn't want to go very well. So I decided to try out Kathleen's tip and it worked amazingly well. So these are all of the bottom row shadows. I could have tried to do the shimmers, but you wouldn't really have been able to see them. So I decided I would refilm the tutorial. Now knowing what I know, knowing that they work like that, we can just try to make a look out of it and see what happens. I made one this morning when I went to church, and I think I can imitate that one again today. So yeah, let's get into it. Hi. Okay, so I just cleaned my arm off from the shadows because I'm wearing a white shirt. That was really smart for me to do, right? Anyway, so I think because I already have my face is completely primed, my eyelids are primed as well, so I'm going to see if maybe we can do sort of what I did before this morning. So I'm going to go ahead and use this gold shadow right here, and I'm going to zoom you in a little bit just so you can see just enough on the eye. So let's do that. And I am going to try on my finger and we'll just kind of see how that application goes. So if you see me looking downward or like this, it's because I do have a mirror with me right now. But if I'm looking down, that's because I'm looking to see the application of how much of the shadow I got onto my finger. So I'm going to go into that goldy shade. And it picked up a pretty decent amount, but I'm going to go ahead and dig in a little bit more just so that we have, yeah, there we go, a little bit more going on. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it onto my lid. Now if you need the assistance of a brush, obviously you can do that. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and use a small but firm eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go into that same shade and just really coat my brush and then go in and see what we can, there we go. There we go, it worked out, it's working out, okay. So what we might have to do, because this palette is very temperamental, is go in first with the finger and then really add an extra layer with a brush. So let's see if we can replicate the magic that happened on the other eyelid. Because, you know, you want to do that, obviously. Okay, so that's what we got from before. So coat the brush now. And go on in, and it's a stronger shimmer now. And I want to go back on the other eye just a little bit, because now the left eye look better than the right one. So we're gonna fix that. Alright. A little more pigment, maybe. Now, a lot of people actually don't like this palette, and I'm just like, I don't know what my feelings are about it, because this is actually not the first time that I've owned this palette. I bought it at one point, seeing it in Target, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. And then it decided to kind of poop out on me. Right then, I didn't understand that the top row was shimmers and that the bottom row was shadows, and I just got mad and threw it out. And then I realized, man, I could have done something with that had I just been patient. So the next shade that I want to go into is this pinky one right here, because I want to pop that in the middle and see what happens. This is all experimenting, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and take my second finger here and try to load it up with as much of the pigment as possible. Just a second. Okay, so that's how much I was able to get off. So I'm just going to dab it onto the middle. And spread it around a little bit. Actually, it is mixing with that gold color, and it's looking kind of good. So I'm going to put a little bit more onto my finger to go onto the other eye. I was going to pop this in the middle, but it wants to be the center of attention. But it looks really nice mixed in with the gold. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little Wet n Wild brush, and I'm going to use this end, it's a very firm brush end, and go in that same color. And we're just going to really make sure that we emphasize that color. Okay. And then just really do it again. For really good application. We'll get that going. Okay. Now, if you want a little more on your eyelid, go for it. Now, what you can do is you can take the other end of the brush, and this is a little blending thing, and you can just sort of blend them together really fast. And it doesn't look bad or anything like that. But you see that little bit right there? That's, for those of you who don't know, that is called fallout. And what you want to do is just really lightly flick it away, and that way it won't ruin your makeup. The next shade that I'm really kind of feeling is maybe this one. I know that's a matte and stuff like that, but I mean, I'm going to end up putting that on my brow bone and then topping it with this color here, and seeing where it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and take my ring finger, and I think I'm going to go, I know I said I was probably going to do that one. Yeah, we'll stick with that one. It's a matte. That's fine. We're going to make it sparkly anyway, and eventually. Now, you can't actually see the pigment of that matte shade at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and try to make that work. It's working. It's working. Surprisingly enough, it's actually working. So I'm going to put more onto my finger and add it onto my eyebrow bone. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply it to my other eye really fast. And try not to block your view at the same time. And yes, I will still use a brush over this. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use a brush over this. So I'm going to go ahead and take another small, more dense brush. And I'm going to go into that same shade and just really coat both sides of the brush. And just really pat it on. See how it makes that really nice, like, pinky-esque shade. We're going to go ahead and go on to the other eye. I know I went out of order of which eye I work on there for a second, but that's okay. Alright, so you see how it just makes that very light shade? I'm going to go ahead and take this really nice shimmer color right there. And, I mean, I guess I can use my pinky for that. So I will go ahead and dig in there. Oh my goodness, I dug in a little too much because the powder just started to separate. That's not good. Alright, so I'm going to take that and just sort of work it on there. And I don't know if you all saw, but a giant chunk just fell off my pinky and onto my pants. Do not pinch into my pants full. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and try to make this chunk dissolve a little. Never mind, we're just going in for another one. Okay, I think my nail got in it or something. Who knows? Okay. There we go. That's better. Yeah, my nail got off of it. I had to take off my fake ones yesterday. If you were wondering. Alright, so go ahead and do the exact same thing minus the chunkage and go into that color a little bit more. Now I am going to take this smaller dense brush that I did use earlier and I'm going to go into that and really apply it more. But be careful at the same time. And just really make sure that that pigment is there. Now on to my other eye. Now if you want to smoke it out with like one of these darker browns, I mean you're welcome to do that. It's your look, so you're more than welcome to do that. But for me, I think this is actually a good place to stop with the shadows and apply that mascara. Because, I mean, it's a very natural look. You don't need to put eyeliner on. I did do eyeliner this morning because I was just feeling like eyeliner, but right now, not so much. So yeah, that is this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and do my mascara off camera, and I will see you in just a little bit. So mascara is on, so we wait for that to dry. I'm gonna go ahead and do my blush. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm going to do a blush from the E.L.F. blush kit that I have, but I'm also going to be using the Wet n Wild MegaGlo blush stick in the shade Peach Bums. And just because it's like a highlighter a little bit, and I like to be highlighted, I'm also going to go in and take the Pink Diamonds highlight by E.L.F. If it will work. Okay, yes. So for those of you who like the highlight, it is definitely a very pretty color to use. Let's see. Okay, so my blush brush, I'm gonna go ahead and put this on first. So, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, just a touch. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out a little bit with my blush brush. Okay, now you would already see a highlight and all that going on. However, I'm going to top it with this shade right here from the E.L.F. palette. Just a little bit. And that little tiny bit's going to adhere to your skin because of the highlighter. So do a little bit just like last time. Just that little line. And go into this. Blend it out a little bit. And then go ahead and go back into that blushy shade and add that on. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put on some of the E.L.F. highlighter. So I'm gonna take my E.L.F. highlighting brush, just gather a good amount of product on there and add that on top. Do it again on the other side. So quite a bit of product. Okay. So I don't know if it's gonna show. Oh yay, it shows for you on the camera. Okay, because I like to be a little highlighted. So it's nothing too crazy. You definitely do want to blend things a little bit. So there's the blush part, and we're gonna go ahead and do the lips. That's pretty much my last step. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the MegaLast Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick by Wet n Wild, and this is in the shade Pink Really Hard. Now if you saw my video reviewing this in one of my E.L.F. or not E.L.F. but Wet n Wild review, you kind of know that I was like, yeah, it's really patchy and what I needed to do was layer it more, just kind of shake it around, show it some love, and be patient. And it actually was really well. It wore really well through breakfast. I mean, we did good. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear this. So I'm gonna take this, and at the time I didn't really like the little scoop looking thing, but I'm like, dang, that's actually helpful. So here we go. It's almost like you have to let the scoop guide you instead of you guiding it. And it ends up helping you not to get out of your lip line too. So that was actually really smart there, Wet n Wild. I'll see you now. and it just looks like that. And honestly, I'm very happy with how things turned out there. And it dries on pretty quickly. It's a little sticky at first, but there you go. And the color is really nice, honestly. So that is it. Oh, what? No, it ain't it. Sorry, setting spray is just like, hello. So I am using the Wet n Wild setting spray, the all day wear. So I'm gonna just set my face right now. Yep, that be potent. Alright guys, so now we're at the finished part here. I think that it looks really nice, it looks really natural, so I'll zoom in a little bit just so you can go, okay. So we did, remember, we did this palette on the eyes, we made it work, somehow we made it work. I do want to try the other Maybelline nude palettes that they have in this particular style, but I mean, I'm genuinely pleased, and I like how the mascara went on. I will list all of the things that I used in order of which I used them, so if you didn't get to see it, like the foundation and the primer and all that stuff, you'll get to know exactly what I used down below. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you liked what you saw and you'd like to see more, hit that subscribe button for me, and also tap on that little bell. It's going to notify you whenever I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I honestly just, I'm going to zoom you out a little bit because I don't want to be up in your face. Just thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.